Back here at Snowflake High School, the home of the Lobos, the number 3 seeded Snowflake Lobo boys team that hosted tonight here, the Florence Gophers. Florence came in seeded number 6. Snowflake jumped out to a 19-5 lead at the end of the first quarter. They were on cruise control for a while, but Florence would not go away. They kept coming back. They chipped away. They actually got back into a tie, and then, if I'm not mistaken, led briefly at the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, before Snowflake could come back, close it out with great, timely, clutch free throw shooting in the fourth quarter. There's the victorious head coach, Andy Wood. He joins us here again at Sports Zone Radio. Coach, congratulations on your big victory tonight.
Thanks, Floyd. I tell you what, I'd love to have had 4 quarters of that first quarter, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you, I think that when teams from the Valley, they come up to see us, they underestimate us as soon as they walk in the gym and see us warming up. And you know, and sometimes our guys kind of get intimidated by them warming up. But you know, our guys come to play together. They come to play and they work hard. And I think to start the first quarter, we kind of shocked Florence a little bit. Like, holy cow, these guys are for real. And obviously, I think their coach did a great job of preparing for us. You know, their game plan was to get Stewart off the block, and they had some big, strong kids that assisted in doing that. And, you know, that first quarter, again, I don't know that they really believed their coach that Stewart was going to be able to do what he did. And in that first quarter, Stewart had a lot of putbacks and did some great things. It obviously really hurt us for him to get his second foul with four minutes left in the second quarter. And I don't know that we scored much after that. I think we scored 4 points in the second quarter after scoring 19 in the first quarter. So that kind of let Florence back in the game. But I'll tell you what won the game for Snowflake basketball tonight was absolutely great defense all game long from our guys. And they just, you know, they've been hammered in their heads that defense wins championships, and that's what they did tonight.
Yeah, that was the key for sure. Final score 45-39. Snowflake takes down the number 6 seed, the Florence Gophers, and that's the head coach, Andy Wood, talking with us. I'm Floyd Simmons. B-Squared Byron Brown hanging around to ask the coach a couple of questions here in our post-game wrap-up. Well, Coach, you talk about the defense, and I think that if there were a guy that maybe edged everybody in the defensive effort, though that it was so stellar among everybody, Michael Brimhall. He always seemed to find himself in the passing lane with the hands, and he made a ton of plays for you today.
Yeah, you know, I sure appreciate my guys executing what we kind of game planned. You know, Florence, they don't run any kind of offense per se. It's what I call end one basketball. Here, I'm going to see if I can take him, and then the next guy is going to get the ball, and he's going to say, I'm going to see if I can take him. And so really all we did was we put a man on the ball until the other two to get on the elbow so that there didn't look like there was dribble penetration available. And Michael got his hands on a couple, great defense. You know, those 3 guys, Michael, Gannon, Ryson, Caden, those guards played their hearts out up front against 3 really amazing athletes today.
Coach, you talked about the difference that Stuart West made in the first quarter, and then when he got his second foul, it took him out, and offensively he kind of stalled out. But he was making a difference in the middle because he was stopping the Gopher penetration. But when he left, they kind of started able to penetrate. At halftime, did you pull out an old Duke University tape and say, hey, this is how you take a charge? This is what Duke Blue Devils do? And because tonight, I don't know if this is a normal night, but I saw more charges here taken by the Lobos here tonight than I have seen on any high school game in the last 5 years.
Well, obviously, we talked about that a lot this week in practice. I'm going to dig on Stewart a little bit because he had an opportunity to take a charge, and he still couldn't do it. And he told us yesterday at practice, Coach, I've never taken charge in my entire life, you know. And so we kind of bugged him a little bit about trying to take one tonight. Everybody else listened to us. Stewart still doesn't have the guts to take one.
Well, I don't know that you need Stewart to take a charge with what else he gives you out there. Does it give you a sense of confidence? I asked Rice and Stewart about the fact that, you know, after a big start, 7 points in the first quarter by Stuart West, he never showed up again in the scoring column from that point on. Does it mean a lot to you that your guys were able to pick each other up as a team without Stewart's offensive contributions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know you've heard me say it before, but Snowflake basketball, as long as I'm in charge, doesn't believe in superstars. And the second you tell the team that you've got a superstar and he doesn't perform like he needs to, everybody else quits as well. So we don't have a superstar, and it's the next man up. I've got two very big contributors of our basketball season this year sitting on the bench with injuries. And you know what? It's just, we're not going to make a big deal about it. We're going to next man up and let's do our job and get it done.
Coach, how did you prepare your team here tonight to finish at the line? We always talk about, as I mentioned, you win games at the free throw line. When teams lose, people don't go back and go, oh, we missed this shot and this shot. They always go back to the free throw stat and go, oh, well, you were 7 of 15, so that's where we lost the game. Or if you win by 4 points, you go back and go, hey, we're 14 of 15. That's how we won the game. But here tonight, they had ice in the veins. They down the clutch. I believe it was we mentioned 8 of 11 in the fourth quarter. And especially down to basically get that lead and the win here at the end of the game.
For sure. The first 3 quarters of basketball, we did not shoot well from the free throw line. It was not very good at all. And we've been talking about that, pressure free throws, focus free throws. And obviously that's something we emphasize. And tonight in the fourth quarter, they stepped up and buried the ones. We didn't make every one of them, but we made the ones that were very essential to give us the cushion or the lead or to keep the lead down the stretch in that fourth quarter, and that was huge on our guys.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Coach by asking about your next opponent, Coach. You get to be at home, by the way. I don't know if they're ever going to do this again, but I hope the AIA is considering letting this be the home of the highest seed be what we do from this point forward. I've loved it. I've loved seeing it. I'm sure you've been happy to be home, and you get your third playoff home game coming up in the semifinals. Next Thursday, you get to take on Fountain Hills. They destroyed what I thought was a really good Northwest Christian team tonight. What do you know about Fountain Hills, and what are you preparing for?
I don't know anything about Fountain Hills, and I'm not going to look at anything about Fountain Hills until Monday when I've rested enough. To be perfectly honest with you, I peeked this morning to see who the 2 teams were that we would play if we won tonight. This has taken all of my focus. I felt like we really had to play a good game today to get past this round. I think Florence is a great basketball team. And so I'll focus on that. We don't play till Thursday, so that'll give us 3 days of preparation for whatever it is that Fountain Hills does. I know Fountain Hills did during the season split with Page. They won one and lost one with Page, and and I think they even split with Northwest Christian this year as well. When our guys really wanted to play Winslow again, and when Winslow got that number 2 seed, our guys were talking about being able to beat them over there at their place because we didn't get that home court advantage if we would have been playing Winslow. When they heard Winslow lost, there was some disappointment that they weren't going to get to play Winslow again. But there was also some excitement because we love to play at home. The only heartbreaking thing about playing at home for this state tournament is our fans don't get to be here. And I tell you what, tonight without the pandemic and the what I say garbage that's going on in the world today, this place would have been rocking. And they would have been another 10 points for us tonight because I don't think Florence would have had a clue what to do with the crowd that we would have provided them tonight.
Well, speaking of crowds, you've got something that isn't going to happen probably, as we said, at any time, but you've got the girls' Final Four here the day before. Is that correct? On Wednesday?
On Wednesday, yeah.
What I want to know is what are you going to give the fans that do attend to be able to sustain that level of excitement and the level of energy both Wednesday and Thursday night, back-to-back for the first time?
Yeah, I think actually in 1982, Snowflake girls and boys won the state championship that year. Snowflake's got 4 state titles in basketball, and one of those was with the girls. It'd be nice to make another one with the girls. Our girls basketball program, Coach Claire, the girls, they have put a ton of time in, and it's actually really nice to see some good basketball from the girls again, and to see them being competitive. And I know they've worked their tails off to be there, and Coach Claire's done a great job with them. People love to watch good basketball, And the girls are playing good basketball, and so they'll come and support them and us because, this is a community effort. I can't say that enough about what an amazing community we live in and the support that we get and that these boys get. It's bar none. I'd take this over any school in the Valley any day.
Great times right now at Snowflake High School. And, Coach, a big win in the quarterfinals. Congratulations on the win over Florence tonight.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
there's the
guys.
head coach, Andy Wood of Snowflake. Final score, 45-39. Snowflake is taking down Florence. Snowflake, the 3 seed, on to the semis. They'll be at home against Fountain Hills next Thursday night in this boys' game. Byron Brown said it about the girls as well. They'll be at home on Wednesday in the Final Four for the girls. They'll take on the Winslow Lady Bulldogs. And we'll have broadcast coverage of all of that for you here at Sports Zone Radio. Everybody listen and look for details in the days that will follow here now. Been a lot of fun tonight. Want to thank B Squared, Byron Brown, for joining me on this. Byron, don't go anywhere because we're going to wrap up on the radio here in just a moment. And want to thank you all folks for joining us again. We call this Northland Basketball. It's presented by Choice Wireless.